Welcome back everyone, my name is SiahZ. I've been absolutely loving using the orbital stratagems in this game. Delivering death from above in the forms of orbital lasers, Gatling barrages, walking barrages, and so on, and just seeing hordes of bugs and automatons die and explode in a glorious fashion is just so satisfying. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I think are some of the best orbitals you can be using in this game, plus some of the tips that I use with it to make your orbital use more effective. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now if you guys are having some issue defeating some of the tougher tankier enemies such as the Chargers, the Bile Titans, the tanks, the Hawks, and so on, then maybe you guys should be using the orbital laser. Now this thing is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to defeating heavy armored enemies, and it absolutely looks glorious coming down seeing a giant laser obliterate your enemies. Now this thing is amazing because it has a self-tracking, meaning it'll auto-target your enemies, so you don't have to do anything but throw it down and watch it absolutely destroy. On top of that, it has a really good duration to it, so it'll stay out on the battlefield for a very long time. Now whenever it kills an enemy, it'll auto-track to its next target, so you guys don't have to do anything with it, and it'll target the biggest, tankiest enemy out on the field whenever you throw it down. So this is the perfect stratagem to use to deal with some of those tankier enemies out on the battlefield. So I 100% advise using it, especially in the higher difficulty missions. This will be 100% handy whenever you encounter them. Now the next orbital I absolutely love using is more of like an utility, but it is the EMS strike. This thing is absolutely amazing once you're going against hordes of enemies, and even some of the heavier armored enemies like the Charger will get affected by this as well. Now this thing you just throw out, basically it'll have a large area and it'll stun anything that comes in contact with it, allowing you to reposition behind the enemy, maybe target its weak points, reload, get some distance between you and them if you're trying to run away, or maybe you just want to re-strategize and have a second to breathe to think what you should do next. This thing is amazing for it, and like I said, it is one of the best utility orbitals you can use just because of the fact that actually it stuns enemies and it works both on automatons and bugs. So I would 100% say use this if you're going out on the mission, especially paired with some other stratagems. It'll complement it so well and is really good in a team comp as well. Now throughout this video, if you find it enjoyable or any information useful, or maybe something you didn't know, you consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It's pretty much the best way to help me and support me, and it really helps letting me know that you guys really like these type of videos. Plus it really lets YouTube know that you're enjoying these videos as well, and it pushes it out to new people, which in turn helps me. And like I said, that is the best way you can support me. So the last like goal we had, you guys absolutely smashed it. So for this like goal, let's do 1,100 likes in the first 24 hours. I know you guys can do that, so smash that like button. Now the next orbital I want to talk about is the Gatling Barrage. This may seem weak at first, but if you actually use it, you can see it has a very good amount of uses and it is actually kind of strong. Now what I mean by this is if you have a breach opening up, maybe there is a bug that summoned a breach, or if you're going ahead and taking a nest out, you can throw it on the breach or the nest opening to go ahead and clear the enemies out that are coming. Or if you combo this with the EMS strike, you can go ahead and throw the EMS strike down and then the Gatling Barrage to go ahead and take care of hordes of enemies. Now like I said, this thing is amazing for focused fire on a specific pack of enemies, and it is just really good when breaches open up to go ahead and throw it on top as well to basically take care of any enemies, or at least the little guys that are coming out. So again, not the strongest for heavy armored enemies, but it is really good for these smaller hordes of enemies if you need to take them out quickly, or it's just a specific focused fire type orbital. Speaking of orbitals that look bad at first on paper but are actually pretty good when you use it, is the walking barrage. Now like I said, you might first glance think, okay, this really isn't that good of an orbital, but when you actually use it, it is pretty good to take out enemies, and is really good as well if you're running away from a pack of enemies to throw it behind you, or in front of you if you're quick enough to kill enemies that are coming into it. Plus it is a really good distance on it, so if you're trying to take out a consistent amount of enemies, maybe push forward behind the actual orbital, this is the best one to do that. So like I said, at first glance this may seem bad, but it actually has a lot of practical uses to it. So as soon as you start using this, you will actually see that it is pretty good, and I advise at least giving this a look and try in an actual mission scenario to see how useful this is. Now I don't know if you guys noticed, but sometimes your orbitals and like your orbital lasers and stuff will come in on an angle whenever you throw them in. Now the reason for this is because they're actually shot from your ship. So if you look above, you can kind of get a general understanding of where your orbitals and so on will come in based on the relative location of your ship. So basically if your ship is on the edge of the planet, it'll come in on an angle whenever you throw it in, but if you're like right under your ship, it'll come straight down. So just something I think everybody should know that'll really help with the deployment of your orbitals to use that more effectively, and this information will help you better understand where you should be throwing your orbitals. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows you can put your stratagem inputs in while running, but I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, or if it's just a weird bug that's happening to me. But if you're actually looking forward and you're running, you can't put your inputs in. You have to be looking backwards to be able to actually run and put inputs for stratagems in at the same time. Now, I haven't seen this really anywhere else, and in my testing, this happened 100% of the time. So I don't know if it's a bug that specifically I have. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section below if it is. But like I said, you're only able to put your inputs in on your stratagems while looking backwards. Now, for the last tip here I have, which should be general knowledge for everybody, is don't waste your longer cooldown orbitals on littler enemies such as smaller nests or patrols. You know, if you have an orbital that takes 3 minutes, 4 minutes to actually recharge and come back, obviously don't waste them on something that you can just shoot with a shotgun, you know, 2 shells and take out. Save it for the tankier enemies that you know you're gonna have to use on it, such as like the bio titans and tanks. You know, this way it'll actually help you in your missions, and when you need those orbitals, you actually have them rather than wasting them and not having them when you need them. And the next thing I want to say is do not neglect your ship module upgrades for your orbitals. Things like exploding shrapnel, where to reduce the damage fall off of center explosions, will affect your orbitals, such as your precision strikes, your walking barrages, and so on. Even stuff like more guns, where your orbitals will fire 1 additional salvos, is going to be really useful for your Gatling barrages, walking barrages, and so on. And these are basically going to be must needed upgrades the further you're on in the game when you're actually going on the higher difficulties. Now, do not neglect these. Like I said, I've seen multiple people when I'm playing with them not really run upgrades at all into their stuff that they're trying to specialize into. Be mindful of that and actually keep that in the back of your mind to upgrade as soon as you can, because that'll make your orbitals more stronger. Now, the last thing I'm going to say here, which was highly suggested by the community and I 100% agree with, is if you're playing in a group, especially with randoms, let them know when you're throwing an orbital near them, maybe a, you know, hey, danger close, ping, something to let them know and to get out of the actual danger zone. I can't even count the amount of times where somebody in my squad is just throwing an orbital near me and it completely blows me up, and they just don't even give me any, you know, like danger close, any pings, nothing to alert me that they threw an orbital right on top of me. Especially when you're going with something like the HE barrages or any orbital with a large area, it just basically let your teammate know, hey, I'm throwing one near you, so this way you don't accidentally blow them up. It is just something I think everybody should be doing. Well, I hope after watching this video and getting the tips and some of the best orbitals you can use, you guys will be more equipped and be more effective in your orbital use when taking on the higher difficulty missions. I just want to say the amount of support on the videos have been insane lately. You know, you guys have been really helping me push and get the videos out to newer people. Like, you guys have been subscribing more, liking, watching the videos longer. It's been absolutely insane. I can't thank you guys enough. It is amazing to see how many more people are coming and joining the Discord and, you know, talking and playing games and grouping up. It's just amazing to see this community grow and grow more each day, and I love seeing how many guys, you know, like the videos and comment on it and share it to your friends. It's just absolutely amazing, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Like I said, the best way you guys can support me is just by hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps YouTube know that you guys are enjoying these videos, and it pushes it out to newer people that are unfamiliar with the channel. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.